Hey everybody, Cole here with Classic Mini DIY. Today we're going to be covering literally the most exhausting job on your car. Replacing your exhaust. Today I've got a new Maniflow exhaust that I'm going to be putting on my Classic Mini. Now, a lot of people replace the exhaust on their cars for various reasons. The reason I'm going to be replacing mine is I have a pretty standard RC40 exhaust that I put on the car when I was restoring it. And over the years, I've kind of hodgepodged it and welded it together, which, looking back on it, was not something that was the greatest idea, but we learned from our mistakes. And now I'd like to take that exhaust off and put something that's a little bit more refined and a little bit easier on the ears. So I'm going to be putting this Maniflow twin box exhaust. Now, when I say twin box, what that means is it has this muffler right here. And then in the other segment, you have a resonator in the center. And the reason you'd want a twin box system over a single box system, where you might only have the muffler itself, is due to the fact that it's quieter. Now, personally, I use my car almost daily. Unless it's raining, I'm in my car, I'm driving my Mini. And because of that, I want my brain to not melt out through my ears because of all the drone in my car. That's been a big problem in my RC40 exhaust, is that it's been really drony, and I think that has to do with the fact that it's welded together and it doesn't have a lot of give, and the distance from the manifold all the way back to the exhaust pipe is fixed, and so there's no variability in the sound. I can't adjust it, and so we're going to be moving to something that is adjustable, that is multi-piece. So these segments fit together. You can see they have little notches in them and they fit over other pipes, and then you have your pipe clamps that clamp around it and bring it all together. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get out to the car and jack it up, and we're going to go ahead and take the old exhaust off. Now, this job's pretty dang easy. You are going to need a hydraulic jack, and you're also going to need at least 2 jack stands to jack up your car. 4 would be better. You can bring the whole car up off of the ground and get to everything all in one swoop. So let's go ahead and head out there. Alright, to start off, let's just go over the exhaust and how it mounts up on your car. Now, you'll see I've got some hose clamps there where the front end of the actual exhaust mounts to your manifold. The portion that bends upwards there is your manifold, and as we turn here, we can follow the length of the exhaust all the way back to the rear of the car, where you'll see a single box in the middle, and then way back there a exhaust muffler. Now, along this exhaust rail here, there's multiple mounting points. There's a mounting point back in between the 2 boxes, and that's what's called a hanger mount. And there's a rubber mounting system that allows that hanger to hook over it and hold the exhaust up there. Normally, on most multi-part exhaust systems, there is a connecting joint right there, as well as a connecting joint up at the front of the car where these hose clamps are already. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is just go ahead and loosen those hose clamps there. Since I've got kind of a hodgepodge single welded exhaust system, I'm only going to have to disconnect those and the mounting system in the rear. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect those clamps, and then I'll drop the hangers in the back, and we'll pull out this old exhaust so you can get a look at what it looks like. Alright, great. So now we have the old exhaust out, and as you can see, it's pretty rusty, it's pretty worn, and that happens. This thing sits under your car and gets really rusty, and it gets water on it all the time, and generally they're not treated metal, or that heat burns the coating off of these. So now that we're looking at these, you can see a big difference between the RC40 and the Maniflow exhaust. The RC40's muffler is much shorter here, whereas this one's a lot skinnier and a little bit longer. The exhaust tips are pretty much the same. I mean, it's nothing too crazy there. And then we move to the resonator itself, and the resonator on this Maniflow is incredibly long. Hopefully this gives me a little bit less drone and maybe a little bit quieter ride. We're going to find out once we put that on. And then this one right here is just a little bit bigger, shorter, and smaller. Now, one other difference you're going to see is obviously this is all welded together, and this one is in segments. Now you have these exhaust hangers that actually do the job of hanging your exhaust right here, but they clamp these things together as they're hanging it. So this slides in right here, and then as we move farther up the car here, this smaller piece connects to the front end of this and then into your manifold. Now this piece is not required for every single build. This is something that I need because I have what's called a free flow manifold. And my free flow manifold is 3 ports that come down and into a single pipe. Whereas a lot of manifolds, LCB Maniflow manifolds, have a Y system at the bottom of the manifold. So you have 3 pipes that come off of your head, and then 2 of them connect into one pipe, and then the other connects into its own pipe, all coming down to the bottom of your car. And then once it reaches the bottom, they bend and they all come together in a Y. So if you have a free flow manifold, you have to have this part right here in order to connect your manifold to a Maniflow exhaust. Now, if you're connecting it to an RC40, you'll actually need the exact same thing. The big thing is this connector piece is absolutely required if you don't have one of those LCB dual pipe manifolds that come down from your head. Now, if you have any questions about that, post them in the comment section. I should be able to help you out with that because this part can be a little bit confusing. But let's go ahead and start mounting all this stuff up there. Now, the way I like to do that is by using these clamps that you get with the RC40 or a Maniflow exhaust. These clamps are used to hang and clamp together the different parts of your exhaust. Now, obviously they can be a little loose, and what I like to do is set them on there kind of loose. So start hooking everything up and kind of set it in place and then tighten everything down. If you try to hook everything up and tighten it all the way down before getting it all put together, you're gonna have a really hard time getting everything to sync up properly. So start with these loose and kind of hook them on there, and then from there move farther back on the car until you have your whole exhaust kind of hanging there where you can tighten everything up. Alright, so now that we have the exhaust replaced, let's go ahead and compare the 2 exhaust notes between the Maniflow exhaust and the RC40, both of which were twin box exhaust systems, so they should be pretty similar, although I imagine the Maniflow will sound just a little bit more refined. So personally, I really like that Maniflow much better, and the inside cabin noise, the drone, is dramatically reduced for me, which is awesome. That's pretty much the goal I had when replacing this exhaust system, and now I can drive my car pretty regularly without my brain melting out my ears. So that's it for Classic Mini DIY today. I hope you found this video helpful, and you guys are a little bit more comfortable with replacing the exhaust on your own car. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments section below. Be sure to check out 7 Enterprise where you can pick up this Maniflow exhaust if you want it, or any other exhaust that you're looking for your Classic Mini. Maybe you want a center exit, maybe only a single box, no box. They've got it all. Other than that, enjoy those minis and motor on.